Lobelia is what we're going to be talking about today, also called Indian tobacco, pukeweed, and asthma weed. And we'll start with the healing properties and why it's called pukeweed. Lobelia is commonly known as pukeweed. It gets its name from its emetic, vomiting-inducing properties. In traditional herbal medicine, especially among Native American tribes and early American herbalists, the plant was valued for its ability to stimulate vomiting, which was seen as a way to expel toxins, mucus, or obstructions from the body. It's like, that's back during the time they thought bloodletting, draining your blood was helping cure you. But this action made it useful in in treating certain illnesses, such as respiratory ailments, spasms, and poisonings. So, like if somebody got poisoned, they would do this, and then they'd vomit up their poison. Where vomiting was considered a therapeutic rather than a side effect. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Now you know why it's called pukeweed. And certain doses, larger doses, will make you puke where, if you stick to what I tell you, you're not going to puke. And we'll get to that part later on when I tell you how to make stuff. So Lobelia is a powerful antispasmodic and respiratory stimulant, helping to relax bronchial muscles and ease breathing in conditions like asthma, bronchitis, and pneumonia. It can suppress coughing, reduce inflammation in airways, and act as an expectorant to help clear mucus from lungs and sinuses. Its active alkaloid lobelia stimulates the respiratory system and can be used in teas or tinctures for these effects. Muscle relaxation and pain relief. The herb has muscle relaxing properties, making it useful for easing muscle strain, spasms, and even arthritis-related discomfort. Topical applications, salves, and poultices can also help with localized pain and tension. It's a smoking aid, smoking cessation aid. Lobelia contains lobelia, which mimics nicotine's effects on the nicotinic receptors, but without being addictive. This makes it a smoker's aid to help reduce cravings and support quitting smoking. You don't smoke this, though. You do not smoke it or you'll puke, because that's way too much. So, immune and microbial support. Lobelia's diaphoretic and antibacterial properties can help the body expel pathogens, making it useful for bronchitis and even treating ringworm when applied topically. Antioxidant and neuroprotective potential. Lobelia has alkaloids like lobelia or lime and antioxidant activities, helping to reduce free radicals and may support brain signaling pathways. Research suggests potential benefits for conditions like Parkinson's disease, though more studies are needed. Historically, Lobelia was used in herbal smoking blends for ceremonial purposes, believed to promote calmness and spiritual connection. But safety and precautions. Lobelia has a narrow therapeutic window. Too much can be toxic. It is not recommended for pregnant women, people with cardiovascular conditions, or those on certain medications due to potential interaction. Always use under guidance from a qualified herbalist or healthcare provider. So to make your tea, you would need 1/4 to 1/2 a teaspoon of dried lobelia leaves, crushed, to increase extraction. But this is pretty crushed. This is pretty good. In 1 cup of warm water, warm, not boiling water. You want it to just below the boiling point, because you don't want to, it keeps all the oils in it. That's good for what, you are after, whether it's to quit smoking, for your lungs, for your asthma, things like that. And then place the dried lobelia in a tea infuser or directly in a cup. That's that little tea ball. And pour the warm water over the herb. Cover and steep for 5 to 10 minutes. Do not exceed 10 minutes to avoid high alkaloid concentration. So don't do it longer than 10 minutes, just 5 to 10 minutes. Strain to remove, I just whistled. No, I couldn't do that if I tried. But strain to remove plant solids. So if you have the tea ball, you won't have to worry about it. Now you can drink 1 to 3 cups per day as directed by a qualified practitioner. Liquid extract or tincture. Concentrated oral form, often dosed in drops under guidance. Then you've got your herbal blends, often combined with herbs like peppermint, mullein, licorice for enhanced effects. And dosing and safety. Low dose botanical. Little goes a long way. Potency increases with smaller amounts. Typical respiratory use, 1 to 3 drops of tincture, and that's drops, not dropperfuls, or 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of dried herb in the tea 1 to 3 times daily, depending on condition or tolerance. Avoid high doses. Lobelia can be toxic. Overuse may cause nausea, vomiting, or respiratory depression. And how it may help. It mimics nicotine effects. Lobeline or line can partially activate the same brain pathways as nicotine, reducing withdrawal symptoms like irritability, anxiety, and cravings. Smoking deterrent. Lobeline can make the taste and smell of smoke unpleasant, creating a mental aversion to smoking. And the effects last about 20 minutes, so it's often taken on demand when cravings hit. Optional blend for your lung support. This is a good recipe to store. You will store this in like a quart mason jar, and use it when you need it. You will need the following for your lung support: 1 cup of mullein leaf, 1/4 cup of hyssop leaf, and 1 tablespoon of lobelia. That's just 1 tablespoon of lobelia. And then 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper for optional warming effect. You don't have to have that, but if you wanted it in there, it can help, your sinuses and lungs. And steep 1 teaspoon of the mixture in 3 cups of warm water for at least an hour. That's 1 tablespoon of this mixture. The 1 cup of mullein, 1/4 cup of hyssop, and 1 tablespoon of mullein that you are going to have stored in your pantry or apothecary, whatever, however you do it there. And you take 1 tablespoon of that mixture, in 3 cups of warm water for at least 1 hour. And then you strain, and then optionally you can add 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and a teaspoon of honey. If you don't have to, but apple cider vinegar is good for you. Anyway, it just would probably taste bad. But that's it if you wanted to use that and keep it on hand for your lung support. Remember, that's only 1 tablespoon of this into a mixture of 1 cup and 1/4 cup of the hyssop and the mullein. And then the magical properties of lobelia. The core magical associations is protection and banishing. Lobelia is widely used to ward off negative energies, unwanted influences, and lingering spiritual presence. It can be placed in charm bags, protective sachets, or near thresholds to create strong energetic boundaries. Love and emotional work. It is a dual-purpose herb for both attracting love and dissolving unhealthy attachments. In love magic, it can enhance emotional connections. And in anti-love work, it can help sever unwanted bonds. And communication and clarity, symbolically linked to Hermes and Venus. And lobelia is associated with eloquence, understanding, and clear expression. It is often used in spells to improve communication and foster interpersonal clarity. In spiritual connection and dream work, lobelia supports trance states, intuitive dreaming, and spirit communication. Placing crushed dried leaves near pillow is said to encourage prophetic visions. Purification and transformation. Governed by Saturn and Neptune, it bridges the physical and spiritual realms, making it useful for clearing stubborn energies, releasing burdens, and facilitating transformation. Fairy and nature magic. Often included in fairy gardens or offerings, lobelia is believed to attract and connect with the fae energies. The elements and celestial links of the elements air for communication, intellect and movement, and water in some traditions. Planets are Mercury, communication, intellect, travel, and Saturn, Neptune, the boundaries, transformation, spiritual depth. And zodiac signs are Gemini and Virgo. The color blue symbolizing communication, clarity, and the throat chakra. Blue is the color of the throat chakra. The best working days. So to get the most out of this would be Wednesday, which is Mercury's day, to enhance, or I think it's also Woden's day or Odin's day, to enhance communicative properties. And protective spells, place dried lobelia leaves in a sachet around your living space to repel negativity. And for love spells, you will use lobelia in love rituals, often combined with blue crystals like lapis lazuli or blue lace agate to attract affection, because the blue crystals also have the throat chakra too. And communication rituals include lobelia in Mercury Day, Wednesday, workings to enhance eloquence and understanding. Dream work, crush dried leaves and place them under your pillow to encourage intuitive or prophetic dreams. Storm magic, which we don't talk about that much. Use its Neptune water energy in storm-related rituals for emotional release and dreamy states. Caution and respect. Lobelia is a highly potent plant with strong philosophical effects. It should be used in low doses and with respect for its tradition by the indigenous communities. Overuse or misuse can be dangerous. So magical work should be approached with intention, safety, and cultural awareness. Lobelia is toxic in high doses and can cause nausea and other adverse effects. Use only in small, safe amounts for magical purposes and avoid internal use without professional guidance. It is best suited for external magical applications such as sachets, dreamworks, or ritual offerings. And that is it for Lobelia. Our next, we will be talking about lovage root. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. We need it.